Okay, 10.5 is angle relationships in circles. So theorem 10.14, tangent and intersected chord theorem, says that if a tangent and a chord intersect at a point on the circle, then the measure of each angle formed is 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. Okay, so if I'm looking over here, the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc AB, and the measure of angle 2 is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc ACB. Okay. The next one, example 1, line M is tangent to the circle. Find the measure of the red angle or arc. Okay, so here it's looking for, I know you can't see what's red, so it's looking for the measure of angle 1. So the measure of angle 1 would be equal to 1/2 of 130, which is 65 degrees. Okay, part B, it's looking for the measure of arc KJL, which would be double the measure of the angle, which is 125. So that gives you 250 degrees. Okay, down here, core concept. It says if two non-parallel lines intersect a circle, there are 3 places where the lines can intersect. They can intersect on the circle, inside the circle, or outside of the circle. Okay, and we're gonna see what each of those means as far as measures go. Okay, so turn the page. So this is whenever the chord is the intersection is inside the circle. Okay, so inside the circle, it says if 2 chords intersect inside a circle, then the measure of each angle is 1/2 the sum of the measures of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. Okay, so sum means to add. Okay, so we're going to do the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 the sum of the measure of the arcs intercepted by the angle and its vertical angle. So angle 1 would be the measure of arc DC plus the measure of arc AB. Okay, if I'm looking at the measure of angle 2, it would be 1/2 the measure of arc BC plus the measure of arc AD. Okay, now if it's outside of the circle, okay, it tells us that if a tangent and a secant, 2 tangents or 2 secants intersect outside a circle, then the measure of its angle formed is the measure, then the measure of the angle formed is 1/2 the difference of the measures of the intercepted arcs. Okay, so 1/2 of the difference now means that we're going to subtract. And the way that I think about this is always far minus near. Okay, no, as a note, you cannot have negative degrees. Okay, so that will kind of help you make sure that you put it in the right order. Okay, so over here, the measure of angle 1 is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc BC minus the measure of arc AC. In the middle, we have, well, this would be a tangent and a secant. This would be 2 tangents. It would be the measure of angle 2 equals 1/2 the measure of arc PQR minus the measure of arc PR. And lastly, we have 2 secants. The measure of angle 3 is equal to 1/2 the measure of arc XY minus the measure of arc WZ. Okay? All right, so example 2 says find the value of x. So I see that these are intercepting on the inside. Okay, so it's like the example up here. Okay, so we want its arc and its vertical angles arc. Okay, so x is equal to 1/2 of 156 plus 130. Okay, so 1/2 of 286 then, which would be 143 degrees. Okay, these two intersect on the outside of the circle. So the measure, or sorry, not the measure, we just need x equals 1/2 of 178 minus 76. So that is 1/2 of 102, which is 51 degrees. Okay, so there are those two for example 2. So go ahead and turn the page then. Okay, vocab is circumscribed angle. It is an angle whose sides are tangent to a circle. Okay, so if it's an angle that has 2 rays that are tangents, then it makes a circumscribed angle. Okay, theorem 10.17 is a circumscribed angle theorem. So it says the measure of a circumscribed angle is equal to 180 degrees minus the measure of the central angle. That intercepts the same arc. So over here, the measure of angle ADB is equal to 180 minus the measure of angle ACB. Okay, so example 3, find the value of x. So x here would be 180 minus 135, which is 45 degrees. Okay, and we're actually not going to do example B, so you can skip that one. Okay, and that is all of the notes that we need. We may do more examples in class, so we'll go over more then, but that's all you need to start your homework assignment.